Good morning, beautiful people, on this last week of July. I am Reverend Vicky Jeter, your minister for Louisville Center for Spiritual Living. We welcome you on this Sunday, July the 27th, 2025. We welcome all paths to God. We welcome your challenges and your questions. All pieces and paths of spirit, all areas of life, and all parts of ourselves are essential to a world that truly works for all beings. So whether you're here with us for the first time, yay, or if you're watching us on YouTube later, we thank you for being with us because you are why we are here. Now, before we turn our attention to opening prayer, I want to ask who all saw the information giving you the heads up to have paper and pen for today, because we're going to do another little experiential. So if you didn't see that and you don't have paper and pen right now, that will come a little bit later in the actual talk, about 2/3 of the way through. So you can maybe get prepared for that if you don't have it now, because this particular piece you might want to actually use for later. So I'm hoping everyone can participate. And with that in mind, setting the stage for what we want to have as our atmosphere for prayer today, I have some quotes from a man that I deeply respect named Jack Kornfield, and I hadn't seen material by him for a long time, but this came through spiritual passages. And these declarations that we're doing regularly on Sunday are to continue to support the reality of everything that is going on in the world, and it's hitting all of us differently. You know, we're all in our own individual universe in one way, and we're all in the same universe in another. And it's just important to look at all these things from various perspectives and acknowledge as much of it as we possibly can that might be impacting each of you personally. So just take a breath with me and contemplate a little bit. Jack says, I used to think that to become free, you had to practice like a samurai warrior. But now I understand that you have to practice like a devoted mother of a newborn child. It takes the same energy as being a warrior, but has a completely different quality. It is compassion and presence rather than having to defeat something that we're in battle with. Compassion arises naturally as the quivering of the heart of a bird in the face of pain, ours or another's. When we rest in the great heart of compassion, we discover a capacity to bear witness to suffering and hold dear with others the vulnerable heart and the sorrows and the beauties of the world equally. The heart is like a garden. It can grow either compassion or fear or resentment or love, etc., etc., etc. What seeds will you plant? Now, with that in mind, I invite you to take a moment and check in with your personal intention. What brought you to be with us today? Our shared intention today is to support each other in the journey of celebrating what is working and revealing and changing what is not working in our lives. And this is all coming through. This is our last week of working with revolutionary agreements. And all of that comes within that philosophy and the book, which we will talk more about later. So, all of this being said, let us take a pausing breath together, breathe in and receive the gift of life in gratitude, and exhale completely and easily in blessing. And as we drop into that space between the inhale and the exhale, which is the point of first cause in perfect stillness, I recognize one life, one love, one infinite presence that emerges as all that is by any name. And that one meets us where we show up, individually and collectively. I am. I am that I am. And as we are together in the I am and aligned in mind, heart, and soul, as the Louisville Center for Spiritual Living Community, this day, right here and right now, I call upon the omnipresent, omniscient, and omnipotent to guide and guard in cooperation with every intention in this room, knowing that we learn more together about how to celebrate and embellish what is working and how to change what is not working. Thank you, thank you, thank you, God. I release it, I let it be, and so it is. And this brings us to our opening song, Spirit is in This Place, with Miss Denise Rosier.
Good morning. Get ready to raise the roof. Spirit is in this place. We have come together as a family. We have come here as we are. Yes. And we have come with arms wide open. We have gathered here in love. Ooh. Spirit is in this place. Let's sing it together. Spirit is in this place. Spirit is in this place. Spirit is in this place. Raise the roof with shouts of praise. Spirit's in this place. We sing in celebration. We sing with words of prayer. We sing with words of prayer. We affirm our life as sacred. We declare that peace is here. Yeah! Spirit is in this place. Ooh, Spirit is in this place. Spirit is in this place. Raise the roof with shouts of praise. Spirit's in this place. Ooh. Yeah, 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 yeah. Ooh. Spirit is in this place. Ooh. Let's sing it. The Spirit is in this place. Spirit is in this place. Spirit is in this place. Raise the roof with shouts of praise. Raise the roof with shouts of praise. Spirit's in this place. Good morning. Bless you.
Good morning and bless you. Into our mission and vision. The mission of Louisville Center for Spiritual Living is to teach personal transformation as a virtual community, living the principles of science of mind and celebrating all paths to God, which of course manifests our vision of a world that honors and respects all people. Now, we have been working recently with the Declaration of Principles from Financial Freedom, which was crafted by Reverend Lloyd Strom and Reverend Marcia Sutton. And this week, our application for financial freedom is abundant support. I believe that spirit always supports its own expression. Therefore, it must abundantly support its highest expression through me. And I'm trusting that you all are saying these for yourselves as we go along. And of course, we know that none of what you hear on a Sunday is worth its salt if it is not applicable to you. Pardon me. So we have an application of what we believe for each weekly topic. And this week, the application of what we believe is do all you can with what you have, in the time you have, in the place you are. Do all you can. And some of you may recognize that refrain from a song that we sometimes play. It's a very special song that was actually written by Reverend Dr. Michael Gott and supported, of course, by the timeless presence of Mahatma Gandhi. And with that, I turn this over for sake of reading and meditation with the lovely Miss Tammy Evans, our practitioner of the week.
Good morning. Wonderful to be here today, serving as your practitioner. A reading from Science of Mind by Ernest Holmes. We cannot live a choiceless life. Every day, every moment, every second, there is choice. If it were not so, we would not be individuals. We have the right to choose what we wish to experience. We have the right to choose what we shall induce in mind. There is one infinite principle, one infinite thought stuff, one infinite creative power, but countless numbers of forms, which change as the specific idea behind them changes. The power of choice, which with man has been endowed, is either his greatest blessing or his greatest curse. Properly understood, it can lift him to the heights. Misunderstood, it can drag him to the depths. He is free to choose anything in which he wishes, but he must accept the responsibility for his choices, because inexorable law will create his experience according to his choices. And now that we head into meditation, make sure you're comfortable in your seat, feet on the floor. Allow your eyes to close if that's comfortable for you. Take a slow, deep breath in and let it go. Another breath in and out. Allow your shoulders to soften. Feel your body settle into this moment. There's nothing to fix, nothing to solve. Just you and your breath right here. With each exhale, release any tension. Let yourself be fully present. Gently bring your attention to what is working in your life. It could be something big or something small. Maybe it's your health, a relationship, morning routine, your ability to show up, your sense of humor, your courage. Whatever it is, let yourself acknowledge it without judgment or comparison. Breathe into that sense of appreciation. Don't need to analyze it. Just name it silently to yourself and let it be. Notice how it feels in your body to recognize what's going well. Now, just as gently, allow yourself to consider what's not working right now. This isn't about blame or self-criticism. It's about honest observation with kindness. Maybe something feels out of alignment, draining, heavy. Or maybe it just isn't supporting the version of you you're becoming. Let yourself notice it without needing to fix it right now. Just name it. Witness it. Let it float into your awareness and then let it rest. You are safe to be honest here. Take a deep breath in and breathe out fully. Let yourself hold both truths at once. What's working and what's not, with compassion. This is not a problem to be solved, but a life being lived. Let go of the pressure to change anything in this moment. Trust that awareness is powerful on its own. Change begins with seeing clearly. Begin to bring your awareness back to your breath. Inhale and exhale. Wiggle your fingers and toes gently. Let this meditation be a seed planted, one that will continue to grow in your awareness throughout the day. If you're ready, allow your eyes to open. Carry this clarity and compassion with you. You don't need all the answers now, just the willingness to stay present. Namaste.
Namaste, Tammy. this is one of those moments. Let us just take a breath and allow that beautiful meditation to settle. I could actually just say, and so we let it be, and so it is, and that message would be the deal for the day. But we shall augment it as the plan unfolds. That was just so beautiful, Tammy. It was so beautiful and so complete, and I'm so grateful.
Thank you.
So, as I mean, I had no idea that taking the next steps would be following that, but that is exactly what we're doing. We're going to take the next steps, working through revolutionary agreements as a scaffolding. And go ahead to the next slide, Vernon. And today, our focus will be, as is on the slide, the fourth agreement, which is do what's working and change what's not, and the 12th agreement, which is lighten up. Now, to begin, you can go ahead and take a slide down, Vernon. One of Ernest Holmes' most powerful quotes is, choose first, never to give up your power of choice. There could be countless reasons for this. When you actually think about what that says, there could be so many reasons not to give up our power of choice. But the thing is that in engaging any experience in our lives, we determine the quality of our intention, and our intention sets our direction. This is part of how we show up and where spirit meets us, is by remembering that whatever's going on, we are in the position of having choice about it. And no matter how you honestly feel about it, stand gratefully in the perspective of knowing that you are at choice in it. No matter if you understand how it came about or you don't understand how it came about, in the unfolding now moment, keep your power of choice in it. And the power of perspective and the power of choice will be evident throughout the message today. So, in introducing the fourth agreement, to do what works and change what doesn't, and the 12th agreement, we're going to move into some powerful examples. Don't worry, special music is coming. I'll be getting to that. But first, I want to speak briefly to recognizing part of what Tammy so eloquently laid as a foundation, and recognizing what is working well in our experiences. What we focus on expands. And when you need an area of your life to be transformed or to expand into more good, one of the most potent steps you can take is to move your perspective, your thoughts and feelings, to contemplating areas that are working well. So you may remember, I tend to say as often as I can, the areas that are working well don't tend to be as noticeable. They don't spike us like the areas that are not working well. So sometimes it takes a little more focus, actually, takes a little more intending to reflect on what is working well, because it's just humming along. That's all good. So I don't, tend to feel it as much as the things maybe that are not working well. So stop and think of the last demonstration to treatment or prayer, or something you've seen in someone else's life where you were like, yeah, that's it. That's God at work. Find those places. And then the next time you're in a position where you need more of that feeling, go there and speak your word in prayer. And this is where Ernest Holmes taught as well, that we pray from what we have, because when you pray from what you have, then you have the alignment, you have the thought in mind and the feeling behind it and the belief, because it's there. The demonstration is there. And so that is something to remember for everything else we're working with about how to change what is not working. So we're going to begin with examples through special music today. I don't know how many of you may remember the movie Hannah Montana, which is actually geared to young people, which I just absolutely love. It starred Miley Cyrus with her dad, Billy Ray Cyrus, and this was like back in 2007. And so this song is actually within the clip from the movie. And I had chosen it as a version of the song before I realized that building up to the actual song is a whole message that is a part of what we're talking about today. So this is a bit longer clip than just a song. And at the time Miley did this, she was 16 years old. And today she still says that the character actually does portray as an extension of herself. And this is very much the way she really felt at this point in her life. And so you're going to see actually the two clips knit together. And when it moves from the first part of the clip to the second part, there's a little space where you can kind of see, and it gives her name like an acknowledgement in the middle. And so go ahead and play the clip, please, Vernon. This is The Climb, is the song. It's all about the climb. It's all about the journey. And yes, the gentleman in the center of the crowd with a little goatee, that was her actual dad, Billy Ray Cyrus. It's awesome. It's a powerful example of something that wasn't working. So we notice that it is perhaps not so hard to realize what isn't working. We can realize that for a long time, as it is the hard part to communicate that truth to the people who are being affected by what's working and who will be affected by the change. So in this light, the key to determining the distinction between areas of our lives that are working and things that are not is first allowing for simply being honest with ourselves, as Tammy so eloquently laid the foundation for. Compassionately, openly, honestly, finding for ourselves what the truth is, and then finding our way to being able to present that truth, to take off our masks, to take off our wigs, to take off, all of the different ways we can do virtually now, hiding or bumping ourselves up, and just allowing ourselves to be, and let that be okay. It's up to the other people in our lives, the other adults, to take care of themselves and speak up for what they need as things change in our relationships. So now we're going to take a listen to a section from Revolutionary Agreements that speaks specifically to the idea of what's working and what's not working. The reader is not actually the author. Sometimes the authors do their own reading, but this author, the author is Miss Marion Head. That's important. But the reader, she does a lovely job, but that's not actually the author. But she's going to speak to what we're going to be doing an experiential writing for at the end. I'm going to give you all time to do that. So don't worry about trying to do it while she's talking about it. Just take in what she's saying, because she'll go through some of how the author wrote about how she walked through her own process. And then we'll talk about it some more. So Vernon, if you could play the reading, please.
All of the little frustrations caused by what's not working can quickly add up to stifle our creativity, productivity, and contributions to the world. When a situation begins to no longer work, we tend to let it build up and become a drama, the drama of the hopeless situation. Once we reach the point where we know something isn't working, it makes so much sense to just stop, identify it, and take the steps to change it, by changing either what we do or how we feel about it. What's working? What's not working? Where do you experience drama, angst, or strain in your everyday life? Ask yourself, is there something that isn't working here? What would happen if I changed what isn't working? If you like the answer, then you might ask yourself, well, what am I waiting for? Does waiting work for you? Consider making a list of 10 things that are working for you and 10 things that are not. Listing those things that are working for you is just as important as listing those things that aren't, so that when you start eliminating or changing what isn't working, you don't throw out the baby with the bathwater. Here's my list for today. 10 things that are working for me, in no particular order. 1. Living where I can walk outside into nature every morning. 2. Warm climates. 3. Having a loving, supportive husband. 4. Quantum thinking. 5. Eating healthy foods. 6. Exercising daily. 7. Sharing the revolutionary agreements through Glenn's and my relationship workshops. 8. A loving, respectful relationship with my son. 9. Getting to bed by 10 p.m. so I'm up to enjoy the sunrise. 10. Peace of mind from the great care my mom is getting. Now, 10 things that are not working for me, in no particular order. 1. Occasionally eating wheat or sugar. 2. Glenn's love of socializing by dining out. 3. Not enough focus time to write this book. 4. Back-to-back company that reduces much-loved quiet time. 5. Going to bed alone because Glenn stays up later. 6. The awkward stages of growing my hair longer. 7. Trying to come up with 10 meaningful things that are not working. Okay, now I can get to work. As I study these lists, I see right away that I have a loving, supportive husband, whom I want to keep. My eye quickly catches number 5 on my not working list. Going to bed alone because Glenn stays up later. How interesting. In the first edition of this book written 10 years ago, my first item on my not working list was going to bed too late and joining an already sleeping husband. My, how times have changed. However, regardless of who is heading to bed first, the issue remains the same. At the end of the day, I want to be near my darling husband. I have been working to change this. When Glenn is watching a show or reading, I sometimes lay on the couch near him when I get tired. I figured if I can start a comfortable sleep near him, then later we can both move into the bedroom together. Unfortunately, my solution is not working so well. The couch is too uncomfortable for sleeping. 3 choices occur to me. 1. Continue to feel like a victim. 2. Engage Glenn to think creatively with me about what might work for both of us. 3. Change my attitude about going to bed alone. As I return to scanning my list, something else jumps out at me. The first item on my not working list, occasionally eating wheat or sugar. Because eating healthy food appears on my what is working list, I ask myself, how can I reduce the amount of wheat and sugar I eat? The answer quickly reveals itself. Carry nuts and dried fruit with me to satisfy my occasional cravings. That was easy. This simple, powerful process of identifying what is and is not working can be repeated weekly, monthly, or even annually. I encourage you to celebrate what is working in your life and change what is not. Remove the emotional clutter of what's not working. Peace on earth begins within.
Just taking a moment to let that settle. So notice that in the beginning of that, at one point, she said, oh, I made this little shift and that was easy. And there's a whole section about making life easier that precedes that actual piece that I had time to put in here today. And I actually wanted to drop back and tell you a little bit more about that, because that's one of the things that a shift in perspective can offer us, that we can sometimes forget that whatever it is that's actually developed, if we stop, breathe, take a look, and do, a more global objective assessment, very often what has seemed tangled up and extremely stressful can be broken down to easy steps. And when she's talking about that in the book, she has this description when she was earlier going through her process of developing all this. And she had a best friend who was walking through it with her and watching her objectively. And the friend actually had made for her a great big red button that said the word easy on it. And her friend presented her the easy button and said, as you break this down and discover that a change in perspective can make a whole lot of things easier, press the easy button. And then she had, when she pressed the button, it would say, that was easy. So it's about practicing affirming to ourselves as we make the changes and we realize we really can see life as easier. And the reason it tickled me so much, and I wanted to make sure and share it with you today, is because we have a colleague from back in Texas. Her name is Reverend Ann Sermons Gillis. And Ann built a whole ministry on this easy concept, and she developed a red button that said easy on it. And she still does this process today. She still has this ministry today, and she calls it easy office, easy osophy, like philosophy. So just kind of entering that into the whole process. Do I choose to live by easyosophy and press my big red easy button as often as possible? And if you want to look that up, her website is at annegillis.com. And I will give you guys information about that, the spelling of her name and all that, within the newsletter and so forth. So now I want to invite you to engage a little writing process. I'm going to give you about 3 minutes. See if you can, in whatever way works for you, on your phone or with paper and pen, go ahead and try making a list of 10 things that are working and 10 things that are not working well in your life. And I'm watching the clock. I'll let you know when to come back. Gradually take your time and get ready to come back. And just remember, you can return to this process anytime, and I am always available for reminders. The practitioners are available to support with this process. And so just consider at the very beginning the planted seed of a process that you can use in your life. And most importantly, I want to emphasize about that. This is a principle, you guys, and principles are universal. You can apply this principle to relatively light challenges as were named here, or you can apply it to our big challenges. You know, one of the ways that the author came into writing Revolutionary Agreements, I mean, she was working with the biggest issues during the end of the Cold War to bring Russia and the United States together and put an end to what was called the Cold War. And so out of that, out of what she and her husband were helping with to make that happen, she ended up writing this book. And so this is one of those areas where Ernest Holmes says, God knows form, but not size. It's really important to recognize that if we will employ these 12 agreements that are put here, and going along with, you know, the agreements from the Reeves brothers, you know, not taking things personally, and all those 4 agreements we have from there, applying these things can be applicable to, it's not about what size the problem is. That is a temporal human level thing, and in spirit it will apply to whatever. And so, as we all know, often in the areas of our life that could use improvement, one of the things that it's about is that it involves other people, and the other people being part of the equation, we don't have any control over. We can only do our part. There is nothing about them to be done, and we can only work our side of the street. So as we take care of our part, then what we're doing is we're setting ourselves up to be in position to allow for the conversations to emerge that bring forth all the things we've been talking about this month, to have that courage, as Miley did, to ultimately be able to tell our truth and trust the process with the other people that we can't be in control of. And that's where the piece comes in, about ultimately allowing ourselves to lighten up. And that actually is the 12th agreement in Revolutionary Agreements, is you do all you can with what you have, in the time you have, in the place you are, and the things that we actually cannot do anything about, we have to lift up in prayer, trust the Spirit, and on a human level, allow ourselves to lighten up, take the burden off of our shoulders. And so I have a very special song that I want to share with you. And when Tammy Evans previewed this with me, she acknowledged that some of the refrain to this she was not able to hear. But if you go into it knowing that what he's giving is examples of areas of our life that sometimes we don't allow ourselves to lighten up, and then I think you'll be able to follow it enough to get the gist of the gift in it. It's literally called Lighten Up. And the musician's name is Tim Bays. He's a good friend of ours from Creative Life in Houston.
When the only thing a sunset means is that you're one day older, and all you see in autumn leaves is that it's getting colder. And when half of North America is right there on your shoulders, don't you think it's time to lighten up? Hey, lighten up. When every Monday morning you already feel behind, and even making love is just another deadline. When you're thinking life is much too short not noticing it's wide, hey, don't you think it's time to lighten up? Take it slow. You've done enough, oh, let it go. 'Cause sometimes all that you can do change your point of view and lighten up. Hey, lighten up. When playing with the children is just another job, and going on vacation is the last thing that you want. When the prayers for what you need outweigh the thanks for what you've got, hey, don't you think it's time? Or don't you know it's time to lighten up? Take it slow. You've done enough, oh, let it go. Sometimes all that you can do is change your point of view and lighten up. Hey, lighten up. 'Cause there's a bluebird saying, put it off until tomorrow. And there's a hot bath waiting down the hall. And there's a sweet dream hiding underneath your pillow. And there's someone here who loves you best of all. Best of all. So lighten up, take it slow, take it slow. You've done enough, oh, let it go, let it go. 'Cause sometimes all that you can do is change your point of view and lighten up. Fly a little bit higher, lighten up. See a little bit further, lighten up. It's time to have some fun, lighten up. Maybe fall in love, lighten up. Lighten up. You got to have some fun, lighten up.
And I can imagine no better atmosphere to go into closing prayer. So taking that breath and breathing in the gift of life, breathing in all that is here, and we release and let go in blessing. As I recognize the presence of the one fulfilled in, through, and as each person within the sound of my voice, according to their way and their understanding and their name for God. And as I recognize it as the all that is all, and the unity of the I am that I am in, through, and as this entire community and the extended community that we reach, I realize in my experience that every intention and every mission is fulfilled as we have made ourselves available to it, and as we recognize in awareness that we are sourced and resourced to the fulfillment of the highest and best, as Spirit would have it no other way. Thank you, thank you, thank you, God, for the gift of life, and thank you for us coming to understand that lightening up and having fun is a spiritual practice. And so I release it with the heart of a child. I let it be, and so it is.
Okay, now it's the time for the giving of our gifts. We thank you for all the ways that you give to LCSL. And the ways to give are on your screen and in the chat, along with our Selma address at Louisville Center for Spiritual Living, P.O. Box 43958, Louisville, Kentucky 40253. Now, please join me in today's affirmation. Money is a limitless creative medium, like a palette of colors that calls for my creative imagination and follows wherever I lead. Now I pass to Vicky to bless the offering.
And I take up Tammy's word as the word of Spirit flowing right through this little basket. As we know, it is the basket of the proverbial fish and loaves, and just trusting Spirit to multiply it and to feed and resource the multitude as we are a center light in our community. So grateful for each and every one of you who bring your talent, time, and treasure to Louisville Center for Spiritual Living, and so grateful for the process that magnifies it exponentially through spirit. And so I let it be, and so it is.
Okay, now it's time for announcement. A quick announcement before we get to the speaker for next week. There's a board meeting tomorrow night, and I'm going to pass to Vicki for more information.
And I'm simply going to say first, thank you so much to the wizard who remembered that tomorrow night is the board meeting, and I failed to include the slide. So tomorrow evening at 6 o'clock, we are having our board meeting, and I just want to take this moment to augment how fabulous your board is in helping us to maintain healthy structure for Louisville Center for Spiritual Living. We would love to have any one of you join us to see what's going on in how the structure of Louisville Center for Spiritual Living is supported and sustained, that allows us to do everything that we do. 6 o'clock tomorrow evening on this very same Zoom. Thank you so much, Tammy.
And next week's speaker is our own Reverend Vicky Jeter, and the launch of Love Month. That sounds exciting. I can't wait for that. And acknowledging the ordination of Katrina Darrow. Invites you to join the virtual celebration of her ordination as a divine science minister. And that's going to be on Wednesday, August 6th at 5 p.m. Mountain Time, 6 Central, and 7 Eastern. And it's hosted on this Zoom call. And LCSL's next homecoming gathering is August 16th through the 17th at Joan Durbin's Treehouse, afternoons and evenings. There's more afternoon of Saturday, August 16th, there's a woman gathering at Jones, and men's gathering at Steve
Smoskowitz.
Thank you. Both gatherings are at 1, and Steve's address is 1701 Lynn Way in Louisville. RSVP if possible to the number of 502-905-3258. In the evening of Saturday, August 16th, we're all meeting for dinner at Olive Garden at 1320 South Hurstbourne Parkway. And RSVP for that, if possible. And Sunday afternoon, beginning at 4, we're all invited to Joan Durbin's Treehouse for a potluck dinner. Joan's address is 985 Cedar Creek Drive in Louisville, and RSVP for that too. An important host an event home through our alcohol-free zones. And our LCSL Unexpected Income Initiative. Do you want to take that, Vicki?
Sure, sure. I am so excited. So last week we had a bump. This week we had a bump. And this week, God bless the person who was blessed by an $80 unexpected income. And she just said, oh, I'm so excited. I'm just going to give you the whole thing. So the actual balance between the 10% now from our 10% from the goal, you guys are at the point of having received $7,248 collectively since we started in May. And we have now received $797 as the 10% given to LCSL. And it makes all the difference in the world. So thank you so much. Now, I have a little financial update. We usually do our financial update for the center the third week, but this week has been so beneficial that I wanted you all to know. Last week when Joan, who is our president, reported, we were just over $1,900. So now for the month, we have received $2,275, and that leaves us to be receiving $375 through to the end of July 31st. That would allow us to pay the remainder of our monthly expenses and our tithes without having to draw anything from savings. And I absolutely know that this is manifesting. And I just really want to say thank you, thank you, thank you to those of you who are dropping into this flow, because it is a fabulous thing for all of us together.
And please stay for the sharing time after the benediction. Always remember and don't ever forget that you are magnificent. And now join us with a closing song, There Is a Place.
There is a place where you can always go. Come with me, where it's all right to let your feelings show. Come with me. What a pleasant journey, isn't very far. We can go together, stay right where you are. And now it's time to start. It's right here in your heart. There is a place where you can be yourself. Come with me. It's a place where you can free yourself. Come with me. And you know it's waiting, not so far away. Need no reservations, we could go today. Now it's time to start. It's right here in your heart. And the light shines through each window, and the door is open wide, and each question has an answer if you'll only look inside. There is a place where every sorrow ends. Come with me, where every hope and every truth begins. Come with me. What a pleasant journey, isn't very far. We can go together, stay right where you are. it's time to start. It's right here in your heart. And now it's time to start. It's right here in your heart.
For our benediction, say with me if you are so inspired. Oh, for a tongue to express the wonders which thought reveals. Oh, for some word to comprehend the boundless idea. For our voices to be sweet enough to sound the harmony of life within that vast realm of thought where my soul meets spirit. I will listen for the voice, and it will tell me of life and love and unity. Amen.